Thanks so much for joining me in this live stream. Really do appreciate it and hope you're having a nice day so far. All right, so wanted to talk about some information here that was leaked. A whistleblower came forward in regards to Social Security, and all of us are potentially at risk with all this information that they've exposed here. So this is interesting, not shocking. I'm just going to point that out really quickly. I think we probably all could have anticipated this was going to happen and that this was going to be the real case with what's going on. But now we have an official complaint, a whistleblower coming forward, pointing out exactly what happened here. And now we just need to wait to see how this whole thing transpires and what this means for basically the entire American population, all of us, as far as what happened here. Okay, so I'm going to break down the details. There's a lot of information within here. Okay, a lot of information. I'm just going to kind of paraphrase and just give you the details behind what happened, what they did, and the official complaint that's out there around this, and what this means possibly going forward. Again, still a little bit too early to know what this is going to result in, if anything at all. But yeah, big deal here. Okay, so remember earlier this year, DOGE, right? We haven't talked about DOGE like at all lately. I mean, maybe I mentioned it, I don't know, a week or two ago, something like that, just briefly in a video. But earlier this year, like February, March, April, DOGE was all over the place. They were doing all kinds of things, causing all kinds of controversy, getting people all jacked up and worried and really irritating a lot of people. It was just, maybe not, I don't know. It is what it was, right? By the way, when I say DOGE, I mean Department of Government Efficiency. Obviously, you know all that, right? Okay, so we talked about it a lot before. Now, there was a long time there where they were going back and forth. They were going into all these different government agencies and all these different things, stirring things up, firing people left and right. And it was just kind of a mess, right? A lot of drama around that. And then they wanted to get into Social Security, right? We talked about this at the time as well. They wanted to get into Social Security. And basically they were, I'm going to say banned. They were restricted from getting into the Social Security Administration and the database for quite a while, but eventually they got in. Again, we knew this. This was no shock whatsoever. We knew that they'd be getting into the database. It was just a matter of time, and they did. Okay, they got into the database. Now, a whistleblower has come forward with an official complaint talking about what the DOGE employees, the DOGE staff did within the Social Security database. Now, again, I don't think this is going to be like a huge shock to anybody. I don't think any of us are going to fall off our chair and be like, whoa, didn't know that was going to happen. I think all of us are going to be like, yeah, I mean, obviously we knew that was going to happen. But here's what the official complaint is suggesting. And again, I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. I'm just saying this is just basically what's happening, what's stated in the complaint here, which is DOGE staff basically took the names, Social Security numbers, addresses, birthdays, marital status, birth locations, basically everything within the Social Security database on all of us, over 300 million people. By the way, that's basically everybody. In the United States, there's about 330-ish, give or take a little bit, 330 million people in this country. So they basically took the personal data of essentially everybody and basically made a master file of that and put it onto a private server. Okay, you might not know what that means. Let me just kind of just describe that super fast. It's basically like downloading information and moving it from one place, basically like moving it from one computer to another. It's not exactly how it goes, but kind of a little bit of an explanation as to how that goes. So they basically took the information within Social Security, made a copy of all the information, and then put it onto a separate database that can be accessed outside of Social Security. Kind of makes sense, right? Yeah, that's what officially has happened and what they're saying here in this complaint. So why this is such a big deal is, well, number one, not sure about you, don't really want all of our personal data just floating around out in the world for anybody to potentially access. Now, according to the information here that they've suggested is that, oh no, it's on a private server that has all the security measures within it. We're good. Don't worry. It's not going to get hacked. I promise, right? How many times have we heard that over the years, right? We promise it's a very secure thing. Before we know it, we see these headlines out there. Oh yeah, some database has been hacked and 50 million people have had all of their personal data sacrificed. Exactly. What would be the potentially worst place to be hacked or for all of the data to be leaked? Yeah, Social Security data. Why? Because they know everything about us, right? Literally everything about us they know and they have within our data in their database, right? And they know it. I mean, that obviously they know all this stuff about us and they have that. And we anticipate that they keep that information on us private. I mean, that's kind of like their responsibility, right? They're the ones who has the information. So their responsibility would be, hey, you can have it, just keep it private. That's kind of the situation, right? And they're supposed to do that. Well, apparently that these DOGE staff have taken that and basically moved all that out, okay? So this complaint that was filed with the Government Accountability Project is basically saying this, and it's this official complaint that went out. So if you'd like, I can put a link for the article that's talking about this. There's a whole lot of other data within it, and even a link to the official complaint. I could put that link for the article down below in the description if you want to. So when I'm done with this live stream here, I can pop that down there and you can read it if you want. There's a lot of information within it, but interesting. Okay, now why is this such a big deal? Why is everybody potentially at risk here? And what are they going to do with this data? Now, I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, they're going to do that to do something bad to all of us. I don't know. I have no idea what they're going to do with it. All I'm saying is that we don't really want that floating around out in the world, even though for the most part, probably all of our data and all of our information is probably out there on the dark web or somewhere anyway, to be real, right? Maybe not all the data that Social Security has, but a lot of our information probably out there somewhere, just simply because there's just been so many breaches lately over the last several years, right? But anyway, they've suggested that any potential breach to this private server where over 300 million Americans' information is currently being held, okay, any breach to that could basically put Social Security into a position where they may need to issue basically new Social Security numbers for like a huge percentage of the population. Could you imagine how big of a mess that would be if we had to change our Social Security number? Now, I'm just kind of curious. Have you ever had to do this? I've never changed it. My Social Security number has been the exact same forever. But if you've had to do something like this, let me know. I'd be very curious to hear how this whole process goes for anybody, but I would imagine it would be a massive headache because basically everything is tied to our Social Security number, right? So any kind of breach of our personal data like that and our socials would be a huge headache for everybody. Now, just multiply that on scale to like, a huge percentage of the population, like, I don't know, 50, 80, 90+% of the population. Could you imagine how big of a mess that would be for everybody? That would be not good for anybody at all, right? And again, maybe this is why these different district federal judges were stepping in months ago and restricting access for DOGE into the Social Security database, and why there was such a big argument and so much pushback about DOGE accessing the Social Security database is because of a situation like this that we all knew was going to happen, right? So interesting situation. Now, again, I'm not going to sit here and speculate, but this is just something that I just want to point out for you really quickly. We heard about this maybe, this other thing I'm going to say here in just a second. We heard about this maybe, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, maybe it was a month and a half ago now. I don't know. Time goes way faster than, a lot of us imagine. But anyway, whatever. In the last 2 months or so, we heard about this, but apparently they're gathering data within programs like Medicaid and SNAP, food stamps, things like this. They're gathering personal data within there, and they're combing through that information to find individuals that are not lawful citizens. Okay. Again, I'm not really sure how to say that the proper way. So give me a break. Sorry. Give me the benefit of the doubt here. However, they're supposed to say whatever the most politically correct, best way to say that is today. I don't know what it is. It changes all the time, but whatever. They're trying to look through this database and basically comb through it and find non-citizens through programs like Medicaid, SNAP, food stamps, stuff like that. And then, not only that, looking through tax return data and tax filing data to find non-citizens so that they can go after them for possible deportation, right? So again, is this maybe another way that they could look through the records here? Are they going to comb through all the data within the database that they gathered from Social Security here, comb through that as possibly a way to look for more people that they're trying to basically remove from the country? Again, however you're supposed to say that properly, whatever the most politically correct way is these days, I don't know. I'm just pointing it out as far as some different ideas to think about, because they're already doing that within Medicaid, food stamps, and tax returns as well. Interesting, right? So Just want to point this out for you really quickly. Okay. So I will put the article, I'll put the link for the article, by the way, down below in the description. So when I'm done with this live stream here, give me like, I don't know, 5 or 10, give me like 10 minutes to get it down there. But I'll put the link. It's pretty interesting if you want to read about it. Within the article, there's a link for the official complaint that came in on this. I don't know. Interesting. But at this point, like I said, I think it's a little too early to know what this is going to do for all of us, or I shouldn't say for all of us, but how it could potentially put all of us in, a bit of a risky situation with all of our personal data, like severely personal data that's within the Social Security database that could potentially be out there in the hands of, people that we probably don't want to have it, right? And again, it's not just like, oh, it's just like 10 million people, or it's just like a small percentage. No, it's like everybody, because basically everybody has data within Social Security for the most part, right? So whether you're a beneficiary or not, doesn't matter. We all have data within the database. And obviously that's where, in order to get a Social Security number in the first place, you got to submit all kinds of information in order to just get that Social Security issued to you. So then it's like, they already have it. They have tons of data on us immediately upon birth, right? So it's like kind of scary to think about. So anyway, I'm not here to scare anybody. I'm not here to instill fear in anybody. I'm just saying, this is what's happened. And again, I don't think this comes across as like a huge shock, like, whoa, I fell off my chair. I'm so surprised right now that this whole thing actually just happened. No, I think all of us probably had a pretty good idea something like this was going to be happening, within the takeover of basically DOGE and Social Security. And again, as you continue to read about this through different sources, and even the article that I'll put down below, you see these different sources that are out there like, oh no, we're good. Social Security is fine. Just trust us. There's no problem here whatsoever. We're all good. So it's like, I don't know. Something about it seems a little fishy. And again, when a whistleblower steps forward on something like this, it's generally something we want to like look into and be like, they know something that they're sharing because they see something like, hey, this is a red flag. This is bad. This is not supposed to happen. And they're bringing it to the attention of officials because they're on the inside and they know what's going on, and they're seeing something that's not good. And they're seeing something that's like, hey, this is unethical. This is not right. I'm going to bring this to the attention of authorities because that's the right thing to do. Right. So anyway, just want to point this out for you super fast here. I'm going to have my wife, Corey, come on in and help me out here in just a minute. So anyway, hope this helps you. I know weird stuff out there right now, but yeah. By the way, I'm going to throw something out there. I just thought of an idea today. It's kind of random, but I'm going to throw it there super fast. This phone number right there, for those of you on Medicare, there's 70 million people out there on Medicare, 11,000 people a day becoming eligible. Anyway, you see that number on the videos lately. If you call them, I'm going to give you a quick little new offer. It's pretty cool. By the way, you don't have to buy anything. It's totally free. But here's the cool thing. If you want, you don't have to do this, but I'm just going to throw it out there super fast. If you call that phone number right there to get some free help with your Medicare, after you talk to them, I've been saying, hey, drop a comment down below, use the word chapter, and I'll give you a shout out and feature you in a community post like I've been doing virtually every single day. But here's another little thing I want to point out for you. If you call them, after you call them and you talk to them, get some help with your Medicare plan, if you want to record yourself in a little video, make like a 30-second video of you just sharing your experience. Don't make it like 5 minutes. I'll have to chop it down. But if you want to make like a 30-second video and just say like, hey, I called chapter. They don't give personal details, by the way. We shouldn't put that on the internet. But I'm just saying, share your experience in a quick little video, email it over to me, and I'll feature your video in an upcoming video. It'll be pretty cool. Okay. So it could be like you literally in one of the videos here, sharing your experience. So if you want to do that, by all means, go for it. Just make a quick little video of yourself telling me how it goes, and I will feature you in an upcoming video. Just pop your video up on the screen. Anyway, my email address is blindintro@gmail.com. Again, blindintro, like introduction, @gmail.com. Again, blindintro@gmail.com. Yes, that is really my email address. It's a weird one. I know it's from a few years ago. But anyway, call them. After you do, send me a little video. Let me know how it goes. 30-second video, and I will feature you in an upcoming video, and it'll be pretty cool. All right, anyway.